Hello, good evening, guys. Welcome again to Manie and CC Gang. This is Manie, and this is
CC
Manie,
CC
Manie,
CC Gang.
Today is a story time. Notice it's only me in the hot seat. Story time. I said, you know what? Since I want fans and subscribers to know me a little more, I'm gonna share a story time. The story time has to do with when I thought that I did find a soulmate, when I did think that I'm finally going to start a life, finally going to get married, finally going to have kids, finally going to start at age 28 after I finished enjoying my life. I said, okay, ready to have a family. Now, it wasn't up to my decision because I wasn't rushing to get married. So, Daddy was like, I think it's time for you to settle down. You know, I had little people I was seeing on and off, a little boyfriend here, a little boyfriend here. When I say little boyfriend, that means dates. Go to different dates, eat, go to the clubs, go to movies, go to everywhere. But I never really had anybody set. So my dad was like, listen, you're 28. I think it's about time that you settle down, that you have a family, that you have a life. And I'm like, Dad, yeah, it's going to come when the time is here. So I said, okay, let me give it a try. He said, well, I have somebody in Florida by me. He lives in Haiti, but he comes in Florida every 6 months as he have a visa. He comes see his aunt. His aunt and his family live up here, and he's back there with his wife and his kid. But I think his wife recently ran away and took his kid with him, and he recently got divorced. So he's up here. He's struggling, and I think you'll make a nice match with him. You know, I showed him your picture. He likes, and I'm like, Dad, really Haitian? Because I never... No offense to Haitians, because my dad is Haitian, my family is Haitian. I was born in Haiti, actually. Raised up here, but born in Haiti. So I was like, Haitian. I'm not a fan of Haitian guys. Never was, never had one. But I'll give it a try, only because you said it. Because my dad is my all. Anybody that knows, my dad is my all. I don't have a mom. I lost my mom at age 12. My dad came to this country with me at age 4. While I'm up here, I lost my mom, never went back there to see her. I don't even know my mom. I left her at age 4. So technically speaking, I didn't know my mom is my dad. That's my mom and my dad. So when he says something, even when I'm not up to it, I always say, okay, let me go with it. Only because Daddy said so. Let's give it a try. Because I don't want me to not do what he wants me to do. And then I end up doing what I want to do. And then something happened. And I'm like, if I listened to Dad, this wouldn't happen. So I said, let me give it the benefit of the doubt. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. So Dad sent me a ticket. Dad gave the guy my number. I'm not for privacy purposes, I'm not going to say name. I'm going to say D, as that is his initial. So Dad gave D my number, because I told Dad, listen, I'm not interested in that, but if you want, you can give my number. If you call, we'll talk and see where it goes. So Dad gave D my number. That was, to be precise, let's see, March 31st, to be precise. I started talking to Mr. D, and he was in Florida at that time, and he talked and talked and talked and talked and talked. I mean, seriously, I was at work. He used to talk me off. The whole day I used to have one speaker, my phone charging, because I used to work at a bank, and I used to be downstairs dealing with the business section. So he used to be talking in my ears. It's like, oh my God. Although I wasn't interested, I said, okay. You know, when you talk to somebody after a while, you get to like their vibes. You love what you're hearing. You like his style. You like the way he talk, the way he sound. He has a lot of plans. He sounds very optimistic, you know, very positive. And I love positive vibes, positive energy. So I said, let me give it a try. Why not? Dad sent me a ticket. I was supposed to go on vacation, but I wasn't traveling. For some reason, Dad sent me a ticket. So I head down to Florida, I think sometime in April. And I met Mr. D. Oh, yes. Mr. D just drew to me like it was glue. I guess after we was speaking for so long, maybe it wasn't long. Maybe it was March 31st. But in April, the middle of April, I traveled. I think it was April 14th, April 15th. Went down. Mr. D went to go pick me up in the airport with Dad. And it was like he drew to me and glued, like, you know. I'm like, okay. First day, I'm like, too sticky. And then second day, he's talking about, mind you, I came up today. He already said, oh, you're not staying by your dad, you're staying by me. I said, wait a minute. I came on vacation to see my dad. On vacation, I thought I met you, but I didn't know I was sleeping with you. And so he insists. And I was like, okay. Convinced me, stayed by him. Introduced me to his dad, his family. I'm like, okay. The next day, he told me, get dressed, I'm taking you someplace. Here I am, I put on a short. Mind you, it's Florida, it's hot. Put on a shorts, put on a tank top, flip-flops, and I was like, let's go. He drove me to someplace called City Hall. I'm like, what am I doing here? Oh, so we can get information about the marriage certificate. I'm like, marriage certificate for what? I just met you. I don't even know you. Marriage where? Who? Right off the way, there's something that clicked in my mind. Shoot. And I'm like, marriage for what? I'm like, I'm not getting married to you right now because I don't really know you. You know? Oh, I don't get married now, my visa's gonna 6 months gonna be up. If I go down now, I won't be able to come up until 6 months after because it's every 6 months. 6 months up, 6 months back, 6 months up, 6 months. I'm like, okay, so if it's meant to be, you can go up and spend your 6 months back home. If it's meant to be, when you come back, then we'll still be talking if it's meant to be. If it's not meant to be, then it's not meant to be. Oh no, let's just do it and call it a day, da 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 da. And I'm like, okay. I didn't study. So we passed nice 1 week, 2 week I spent down there, telling you I was being fed. We had some good intimate times. I don't have to go into the details. You know, we keeping it rated PG. Some intimacy. Oh my goodness. I thought after a while, after those 2 weeks, I thought I found my soulmate. Basically bathed me, fed me. His family liked me. His aunt, his uncle, his cousins, they just treat me like they knew me from a long time ago. We went partying, we went clubbing, took me different places, went to the beach, went to the this and the that and the third, came to my house. They had a nice family dinner. My stepmom and my dad cooked up a storm for me and him, introducing us as fiance. I'm like, fiance? Took mad pictures, went by the beach. It was like love at first sight. Although I wasn't in love with him when I first met him. Not my type. He's short. I mean, I love dark guys, so his color was not a problem. But because he was a little shorter than me, it's a turn off. And he's small. His body's like tiny, tiny. So I'm not my type. And look at me. I'm a plus size, voluptuous girl. So I'm like, But after the 14 days, I was like, drew to him. And I said, I'm going to leave. So 2 days or 3 days before I left, I was like, so it's nice meeting you. I'm going to leave. He's like, leave where? You're taking me with you. And I'm like, taking you with me where? So homeboy started talking me. So, okay, even if we don't get married now, but can you at least, can I just go with you back to New York so that we could at least start to live together to see if it's really meant to be, if we're going to actually pursue something. Sorry. So I was like, you know me, I'm a type of person, I'm very people first. And so I'm like, all right, if you want to come with me, fine. But I'm only, at that time I had just moved to a room. I didn't really have an apartment on my own. It was just a room I had. Mind you, a young girl, 20 something. I just was, my goal was to work, save, buy my own house. I didn't want to move into an apartment and I'm paying an arm and a leg for rent. So my goal was to live in that room, a nice big bedroom with furniture and everything. I was good. Back in those days, it was $500 I was paying a month. So I said, my landlord don't know if anybody's coming with me back to my room. And this is a room, it's not my apartment. So this is going to be a problem. So right off the back, I made a phone call. I called my landlord. I was like, hey, I'm going to come back up with my fiance. Just like that, it just came out of my mouth. He looked at me like, oh. And I said, yeah, I told the landlord, I'm coming with my fiance. Is it okay? He goes, yeah, but I'm going to raise the rent up to $100 more. So instead of $500, it's going to be $600 because there's an extra person in that room. It's going to burn up more water, more gas, more light. So I'm going to raise it $100. I said, okay, it's fine. If that's what I have to do to have him with me, that's fine. So we bought a ticket. I did a quick shopping for him, did the laundry, prepare his suitcase for him to come down with me. Excited, girl. Y'all don't want to ask. I came up back in New York on the 26th. On the 29th, to make a long story short, I'm going to cut it short. On the 29th, we were in City Hall getting married. I invited my cousin. Her name is F. She know who she is. I'm not going to call no thing. So D, it was me, Mr. D, F, my cousin. And that's it. That was my witness. Got married. And before you know it, 2 weeks after, I find out I was...
Can I say it?
Yes.
Pregnant with me.
Yes, a few weeks after. Maybe a month after, I find out I was a couple of weeks pregnant. So since in Florida, I got pregnant. Yep. So, to fast forward, we're going to move fast forward. Baby was born, everything was born, and things were going good. And all of a sudden, okay, because I don't have a mom and I don't have a dad up here, it was me alone. His mother was back in her country also. So it was only me and him. We needed assistance. I'm going to have a baby. I'm going to have a C-section. I needed assistance. So my father said, that's not fair. If the man has a mother, okay, you don't have a mother. But if the man have a mother, why don't she come up here and help you? So fast forward, Dad sent her a ticket. She came up to help me, but she did not like it. She was miserable. She didn't like it. She felt annoyed that she had to come out and help me with a kid. I don't know why. Don't ask me who. So she came up on the wrong term one time. And then I guess Mr. D felt the tension. So automatically it was like a back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And from then the relationship started going downhill. Fast forward, Mr. D came. I sent him to school to learn English. I sent him to start his career, get a major, find something he wanted to do. He went into paramedics. From paramedics, I looked for a position in the hospital for him. Come to find out that position in the hospital, the person that hired him is the person he fell in love with because she was a nurse. And I'm not a nurse. I was a banker. She's a nurse. And Haitian men, they have a thing for nurse. Once you're a nurse, hey. So he find it right. He fell in love with her. I know, doing a little pokey here and there. Before you know it, she was knocked up. He didn't know how to tell me this. So I guess he started picking fights with me. We haven't been talking. He haven't been sleeping with me. Like 6 months before he even ended the relationship and left. Stopped sleeping with me. Was sleeping on the couch. Coming in whenever he feel like it. Claiming that he's doing double shift. When he was only with this lady. They used to work the same shift. He would go to work from 4 to 12. And he's supposed to come home afterwards. So get home around 1. So at 12 he would call me and tell me, listen, I'm doing double shift. I'm going to come home after 9. Come to find out, he would leave work at 12 with her because they used to work the same shift, go to her house, spend the night, come home the next morning. When he come home, I'm not there because I used to work. 8 o'clock, I have to be at work. And it was going like that until she was like 8 months or 9 months pregnant, almost about time for her to deliver. He picked the fight. I don't know how the fight came. And I said, you know what? If you cannot be the person that I met and fell in love with, it's best we go our separate ways because I don't understand how you're not sleeping with me, you're not eating my food, you come home whenever you feel like it. You have your whole bank account. I don't know how much you're making. I don't know anything about your job. It's me paying all the bills. It's me paying the rent. It's me taking care of my kid. Doesn't make sense. It's either you change and be the person that I met or you change. So I finished that argument in the morning and I went to work. I left him because his mom was living with us. I left his mom and him in the house. He was off that Saturday. When I came home, I used to get out of work at 2. When I came home, my dear, I passed in a little market, get some food because, it's weekend. I want to buy things to cook. I used to buy things ahead of time. That's how I used to operate. Wrong way to operate. I used to buy food when I come from work on Saturday to cook for Sunday. When I got home, I see it's funny. The house is empty. Nothing there. The only thing that's there is my daughter's clothes and her stuff. All his mother's clothes, all his stuff, all his mother's things, everything he ever bought for his own self in the house, to participate in the house, gone. When I called him, I said, hey, so what's going on? At least, where's my daughter? Oh, I'm going to bring your child to you and your keys to you. And then I was So this is when I got heartbroken. This is going to be the end to my story when I thought that I met the love of my life and the love of my life turned into my enemies. 2 weeks after, going fast forward, 2 weeks after, guess what? I seen a picture / a little reel on Facebook with him kissing the lady's stomach. It was her baby shower for the baby they're about to have. I said, so that's why you left? Why weren't you a man enough to tell me why you're leaving instead of picking a fight and just as an excuse to leave? Just tell me, hey, I screwed up. I got this lady pregnant. She's about to have a baby. She's my boss. Come to find out, the lady that interviewed her, which is the manager or the boss, is the one he's with, is the one that he's now married to. That's the end of the story. So never trust somebody. Never give your all into somebody based on what he tells you. Always try to figure out somebody before you run into a relationship. Never rush into a relationship. And second of all, put God in the midst of it. In this relationship, in this first marriage of mine, I didn't put God in it. I didn't include God in it. And this is why. When you don't include God in the midst, you choose to go to City Hall, you don't do a church wedding, you don't go to church, you don't include God into it, you don't include family into the midst of it, everything spoils. But I learned my lesson. My heart is shattered. My heart is broken. It would never get the same again. But I believe in this God. Little by little, it'll get back. Team Manie, Team Cece, I'm leaving you guys right there. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up.
Before this video ends, the viewers may have one question. What is the social status between you, D, and your daughter C now?
There's no status. We don't talk. Because after he left, he had told me he can't give me any money for C because he's having a baby with his new woman. He's sending for his daughter back in Haiti that he had in his previous marriage. And he's sending for his mother. Like, he's filing for his mother and his sister and so much things going on. So he wouldn't be able to give me anything for C. And I told him I'm not going to deal with that. I'm going to go to child support. Went to child support, filed child support, won the case, of course. Went full custody over my daughter. Ever since then, he stopped talking to us.
And that's a good ending, y'all.
I don't know. I hope. But anyways, me and my daughter, we good. I remarried. I have a beautiful son. I have a husband. I mean, I'm moving on. Moving on to bigger and better things. Thank you for listening. If you like this story, give me a thumbs up, like it, subscribe, and click on the notification so you'll always know when I post nice stories and challenges and pranks and everything else. Thank you, guys. Peace.
Manie and Cece gang
Gang.
out.
Gang, gang, gang.